Yo, what is up, everybody? Getting this thing moving. Looks good. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday Night Live. Nice to have you guys here. Gonna take a moment and collect the viewers who are looking for me but haven't found me yet. How is everybody doing this Tuesday? Hope you are all well. We have an exciting program for you tonight. We've got some important topics to discuss. A lot of topics, but not a lot of bottom mixes. You know what I'm saying? Where's the bottom mixes at? So welcome to Tuesday Night Live. I'm your host, Seth Monkesaurus Rex, coming at you live from Woodland Hills, California. Right over the mountains from Malibu. And I'm here with my weekly live. So every Tuesday night, I go live right here on my Facebook Live and on my Instagram and on YouTube to share with you guys what I've been thinking about, what's going on in my world, to guide us in a little bit of a guided journey, a little bit of a meditation healing round, and also to see where you're at, to see if you guys have any questions, if there's ways that I can support you. I work with people individually. I do a lot of one-on-one stuff, and then I do stuff in yoga studios, and I really enjoy having this platform, this ability to just like reach people wherever in the world they are. No paywall. It's free. Just show up and receive. So really happy to be here. Happy to share. Say what's up in the comments. If you want to do me a favor, you could also share this on your own wall or page to bring more people in. And for tonight's topic, actually it's something I wanted to share. That so this new year that we're in, we're already almost at the end of the first month. Can you believe it? I can. So we're in almost month 2 of 2024. And I know a lot of us had New Year's resolutions, and the New Year was like this big thing. It was like a big moment, and a lot of us were kind of, connecting to what we wanted to create and who we wanted to be. And there's a lot of excitement around the time of the New Year. But now is the question of, what have we done so far? Have we taken that initiative, that momentum, and done something with it? Or have we all just kind of been resting because it's been the winter and a lot's been going on with the holiday season? I propose that February is the month where we start getting shit done, where we start kicking into gear. And one of the ways that I propose that, one of the ways that I'd like to share, is that I am going to do a water fast for February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So a 3-day water fast. Doing a water fast for 3 days gives your intestines time to rest, your stomach time to rest. If you think about it, if we're eating every day, all day, multiple times a day, our digestion system is always working. It's always moving. It's always processing. 3 meals a day is cool and all, but back in the day, people would not be eating just 3 big meals. They'd be eating little bits here and there. Maybe there'd be like a big meal, but the way that we've scheduled our eating is a little bit different. So our digestive tract never takes a break. If you can imagine somebody who's in their like 70s, for instance, who has never fasted, think about the fact that their digestional tract has never stopped. They've never had a break. They've never had a rest. I think that's crazy. So what I'm going to be doing is doing a 3-day water fast, February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So that's coming up. I just decided this today also, so it's not like I've been planning this. Today I was just like, you know what, I'm going to do this thing. Why I'm sharing it is not to be like, yo, I'm awesome, which I am, but it's actually to invite you to join. And there's not really much structure around this. I'm going to be sharing about it on my social media, but it's really just an invitation for all of you to join, just to say, hey, you know what? Seth's going to be doing a water fast for these 3 days. I'm going to be doing a water fast for these 3 days too. I personally have done 2 weeks of fasting. I've done a number of 10-day fasts, and then I've done a bunch of like smaller times. I did a water fast not that long ago for 5 days. So yeah, we're going to do a 3-day fast, and I invite you guys to join. I invite you to just make the decision that you're going to do it too, that you want to also be involved. And I'll be just writing about it on my social media, and all you have to do is just don't eat, drink water, let your body do what it has to do. Every time you're hungry, drink more water. Every time you're feeling weak or dizzy, drink more water. It's actually that simple. You won't struggle at all if you just drink water. So I'm putting that out there and planting that seed. If anybody wants to start February out with a bang, 3-day water fast, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, put it in your calendars right now. Just do it. There's no like thing. I don't have like a WhatsApp group or a Facebook group or an event. There's not a thing that you're going to join. You're just going to decide for yourself that you're going to do it along with me and whoever else wants to do it together. So I'm excited about it. So that brings us to the topic of today. The topic of today is something that I was invited over a friend's house this Friday, and he was talking about the connection that we have. He called it the vertical connection and then the horizontal connection. So that's kind of like between, you know, a human and God or the divine or what have you. And then also the connection that we have this way to the things around us and the difference between those and how those things are treated. I had a lot of thoughts about this, but it didn't really cement for me until I went over a friend's house the next day who was doing a plant medicine ceremony. So I came over just at the end. It was actually a frog medicine ceremony. So it's just at the end of my friend inhaling a dimethyltryptaminous substance and put her into that DMT space, which can be very just kind of like everythingness-ish. And it kind of got me to thinking, and as I chatted with her afterwards about her experience and myself, as I was a monk for 8 years and have gone very deep in kind of like the spiritual practice and different spiritual traditions, but then also have you know, utilized different plant medicines and things like that. What I kind of came to, my realization around all of this, and this may offend some of you, but there's no place that is better or more spiritual than wherever you are right now. I know this is going to offend some of you. A lot of you have built up a very spiritual ego and a very spiritual identity. I'm actually just kidding. I don't think this is going to offend anybody. But actually, if you think about everything in terms of vibrations or frequencies or bandwidths, imagine there's a big radio, and when you turn the radio all the way one way, the vibrations, they start getting denser and denser and denser, and eventually that becomes what we call material, what we call physicality. And if you start turning the vibrations a little more, Then you start to get into things that are a little more gross, like then you get to like the emotional level, then you get to the mental level, and then you get into like more like the energetic or astral level. And it's kind of this movement, this spectrum from dense to subtle, right? The same way like a rainbow, it's like a spectrum from red to violet, right? Each color is a little bit less dense than the previous color. If you could dial that on a dial, a rainbow, you turn it a little more, and then it would start to get into ultraviolet. You turn it the other way past the rainbow, and then it gets into infrared, right? But then if you turned it even more, you get one other thing. And if you made the rainbow more and more dense, if you made light denser and denser, which means light would be slowing down, it would actually turn into sound. And if you turn that volume down even more, it would move from sound, and it would start to move into form, into material. That everything we experience, kind of like in Hinduism, I talk about the Om, right? That there's just this vibration, and depending on where you're connected on that spectrum, things are either going to be this dense physical material reality, or they're going to be this kind of like unity, oneness, right? So on one end of the spectrum, and obviously the spectrum goes for infinity in both directions, but on one end we have like our dense bodies, the material bodies, right? When you talk to a lot of scientists, they say this is what exists, the material, the physical, the 3D realm, right? And then if you turn the dial up more, right, then you have people that they're more working in the emotional level, right, or than the mental level. And if you keep going, and you get people that are more kind of like in the energetic level, and then even more in like the soul or spiritual level, and you go further in that direction, and you'll actually reach a place of oneness, right, where you get so subtle that everything's kind of cleared away, and there's just this unity, this oneness, right, this place where everything meets, right? If you go all the way down to that end of the spectrum, it just dissolves into oneness, right? And then you go down the spectrum back, and everything's back in this like separation, which gets more and more separated, more and more dense, right? So there's that lightness and that heaviness, that subtleness, that denseness. But all of it is equally valid. All of it is a part of it. The quote unquote problem is when we get attached to or identify with part of that spectrum as being right or being wrong or being more valuable than the other one. That if a scientist is attached to the physical, they're not going to be experiencing something more, something like the spiritual, right? If there's somebody who's a spiritual practitioner and they're just super focused on God or on oneness or on bliss or something that's up the spectrum that way, they're going to be rejecting and forgetting this whole human experience, all of the emotions, all the material with it. So being able to go back and forth, to go all the way up the spectrum and connect with, oneness or God or unity or whatever, and then to come down and then to see these like astral beings, and then they come back down and to be with your thoughts and feelings, and then come back down and be in your physical material body and doing, human things, and being able just to go up and down that spectrum freely, right? That's what liberation's about, is seeing how all of it is valid, all of it matters, all of it is a part of it. Nothing is better or worse or cooler. The Zen Buddhists would encourage you to focus on the material, the thing that's right here. The Zen Buddhists would tell you, when you're sitting, sit, when you're walking, walk, when you're eating, eat, chopping the wood, carrying the water, being here with what's right here, right, is where the Zen Buddhists would go. Then you get into the Tibetan Buddhists, and they're saying more connecting to these visualizations, these deities, and all these things out here, right? And you talk to the Thai Buddhists, and they're like, well, ultimately, you want to be in this blissful meditation state called the jhana, where everything dissolves into light, right? And all of them are valid. They all have their lessons. They all have their information to teach. But if we take one of them as the point, if we take one of them as the thing or the place that we're supposed to be, residing in, or the thing we're supposed to be getting to, then we've missed it. Then we're back in the world of attachment. We're back in the world of discernments. We're back in the world of of choosing or rejecting. And then, that's just endless, right? That doesn't really get us anywhere, which is why I've seen, so many people in these very, enlightened, spiritually dressed or spiritually identified people have such a hard time with material life, right? Because if life is difficult, if emotions are difficult to deal with, if your situation is difficult, you're going to want to escape and go into the spiritual realm. Where the spiritual stuff, it's easier, it's lighter, it's freer, you have all this freedom, you do what you want, right? So a lot of people that have trouble dealing with life on the three-dimensional level, or their emotions and stuff, or their situations, or their traumas, or whatever, they like to go into the spiritual realm because it's easier to access, it's safer, right? Some people call this spiritual bypassing. But going to the places that are easier to access and then attaching to those and then saying, oh, this feels good, so this is right, and this is true, and this is like where we're supposed to be. But that's just not the case, right? It's just that you're going there because over here is pain, and you don't want to or know how to deal with the pain, so you'd rather go that way. Conversely, you have a lot of people who are living really, if they're living, really connected, loving, successful lives, they're maybe not as connected to the spiritual realm because they don't need to. They're already finding all of their enjoyment and satisfaction here. And those are the people that can use a little kick in the ass to be like, hey, there's actually more to explore that way. I get that you're comfortable, but you're also going to die one day, and this is all going to go. So why not check out what's over there, right? So learning to be able to navigate that spectrum of human consciousness, to kind of go up and down at will, freely, and see the value in all the different places and all the different levels, and see which places you yourself get hung up with. So this is something that I've been thinking about recently. I'd love to hear your thoughts and where you're all at with that. I'm not sure if my StreamYard is getting comments today or not. I haven't gotten any, so we'll see. There's this teacher from Thailand. His name is Ajahn Chah. He's one of the great Buddhist masters of the last 100 years. And he just went and lived in the jungles of Thailand and just kind of did his own thing. And eventually, he built up this amazing practice. And he ended up, like, from what I've heard, he went to this area, and it was called like Pa Pong, which was this like swampy area, in the middle of nowhere in Thailand. And all the local villagers were like, oh, don't go over there. It's like infested with like poisonous snakes and ghosts, and things that are going to kill you and haunt you and all this stuff, right? And he was like, oh, that sounds like a perfect place to go meditate. So he went to this place that everybody was like telling him not to go to superstitiously, and he went there, he started practicing, and as he practiced there, people would be bringing him offerings and food, so he could keep practicing. And then other monks would be like, yo, can I join you? Like, it seems pretty cool. And slowly over time, this monastery built up. This monastery is called Wat Pa Pong. Wat is the Thai word for like a temple, like a wat. So there's this place now called Wat Pa Pong, which is this monastery with Ajahn Chah, and then all these other monks who kind of were like his students or disciples. And as they would kind of walk into town to collect their alms, so monks didn't get food, they don't have money, so they walk with their begging bowls, and people would give them whatever food they felt inspired to. And in Thailand and in Burma and some places, this is part of their culture. It's really beautiful, this giving and this generosity, and this, the people support the monks on their spiritual path, and then the monks practice, and they go back and they give teachings and they hold ceremonies. So it's this beautiful like symbiotic relationship between the monk and between the layperson. So as Ajahn Chah, and then they're walking in town with their bowls, there's Westerners that would come by, and they'd be like, wow, like, these monks look so happy and peaceful. Who are, like, how do I want that? How do I do that? I want to practice. So slowly, some Westerners who were visiting, some like that were just tourists, or some that were part of the Peace Corps, this is back in like the 70s, they started finding their way to Wat Pa Pong too, and they started ordaining, and they started becoming monks under Ajahn Chah. So as these Westerners are practicing and living this whole monk's life in the jungles of Thailand in the 70s and then the 80s, one of the students, I actually believe it was Jack Cornfield actually. He he was like a little bit like, oh, like I'm like a little restless and like kind of wanted to see what else was out there, right? So he kind of traveled around, like he was at Wat Pah Pong for a little bit, and then he went around to like some other places and to see like what the teachings like there and what are the teachings there, and he had these amazing meditative experiences where everything dissolved into light, and he had these like really powerful, like his body dissolved and all these different things. And he came back to Ajahn Chah, and Ajahn Chah was like, so did you find what you're looking for? Kind of like with a knowing smile. And Jack Cornfield, mentioned all these experiences he had and how profound it was and powerful. And Ajahn Chah just sat there and just like listened. And when Jack Cornfield was done talking, Ajahn Chah said, great, something else to let go of. Pointing out that even though he had experienced these beautiful things, where are those things now? Where is that light dissolution body right now as you're talking to me? It's already gone. So as you're talking about and excited about it, that's cool, but you're holding on to something from the past that's not even here anymore. You're saying that place is awesome and real and this place isn't. You're saying that place is more important than this place. And Ajahn Chah was like, no, like the path is one of letting go, just continuously letting go. You're going to be in a high exalted state, and then you're going to be back here, and let yourself flow seamlessly between those two and not be grabbing onto one. Because if you grab onto one, then you're going to suffer. If you're trying to meditate, if you're trying to get peaceful when you meditate, it's going to fail. Because the way to meditate is to let go of trying. The way to meditate is to relax. There's nothing to do. It's the ending of doing. So anytime we're attaching to something, we're causing ourselves difficulty, because we're going to suffer when we don't have the thing that we're attaching to on one level or another. Right? And this is a very, very, like there's complexities within the simplicity to get into with all of that. But I'm going to just leave that there for now, and that's something for you all to think about and consider, and feel free to come to me with questions for next week about it. But really seeing that as soon as we attach to needing to be a certain way, to feel a certain way, for everything to look a certain way, right? Whether this is like your plans, your expectations, your relationships, your life, your body, like whatever it is, that can be a double-edged sword, because discontentment also can be a motivating force, right? We often are motivated. I'm doing a water fast for 3 days because I'm like, like I'm ready to like kick this up a notch and to connect to something. So I'm motivated because I'm not totally happy with like where things are, right? So I'm moving forward. But also, if I was expecting a very specific and certain result from that water fast, I wanted to feel a certain way, I was going to, feel proud of myself, or feel pure, or feel like whatever accomplished, maybe I'm not going to feel like that. Maybe that's not going to be what happens. Maybe I'll do a water fast and I'm just going to feel like shit for 3 days, right? Who knows? So being there with the process, knowing why you're doing it, but being open to the results, being open to how things actually unfold, but allowing pivots to happen seamlessly in every moment, allowing your plans to pivot. And all of us need to look at that. I even today, I was expecting to go and get some lunch for myself and have this, salad and things. And then my girlfriend connected with me and she's like, oh, I made you lunch. And I was like, oh, but I had this whole plan to go and get myself something at Trader Joe's and then do like a call with my men's group and all this stuff. And I like said all that. And then I had to kind of take a breath and be like, wait a minute, like, thank you. And yes, I would love that, and taking that moment to pivot, to recognize like, okay, like, my plan got derailed, but like, fuck my plan. Like, let's dance with what's here and let's pivot to like see like how things work, and to know when is there a thing to hold on to. Like if you're a ship and you're sailing through the ocean, you need to stick to that compass point. You need to stick to that star that you're heading towards, right? We need to stay on course. But also if the wind blows you a little bit this way or the wind blows you a little bit that way, allowing the ship to kind of move as it needs to based on the conditions while heading towards the direction that you want to go, If that makes it maybe a little more sense to say it this way. So if our goal, if our collective goals are things like happiness, things like peace, things like connection, right? Things like feeling safe and feeling accomplished, we have to really look and ask ourselves, are my methods for trying to get that succeeding or not? Right? If I want to feel more love or more connection, is the way that I'm connecting with people attracting them in or pushing them away? If I want to be successful, is my way of pursuing that success magnetizing success in situations to me, or is it not? Right? I often see for myself that the times in my life that I'm most successful, they come almost like magically when I start taking more accountability for myself. When I'm more on it with myself and I'm like waking up and I'm doing my routine and I'm praying and I'm doing good things for my body, and when I'm more energized and motivated in my life, things just start happening. The times that I'm feeling kind of like low and blah and even my meditation classes, less people come to them. They don't know how I'm doing that day, but it's almost like we have these energy fields that when we're in certain energetic states, it kind of activates people and situations and things to come in and to happen. But it's really fascinating when I observe it. So, I've heard the old adage, it's like if you're single and you want to date somebody, it's like, don't chase people. It's like, become the person that your ideal partner would want to be with, right? Become the kind of person that the person you're trying to attract would want as a partner. If you're trying to get a certain job, become the kind of person that place would want to employ, right? Become the thing and then let the rest of it kind of happen, right? So bringing the focus back on ourselves and on what we can do to feed the situation to grow. It's like I was just gardening, and it's like, you feed the soil and then the thing grows. You don't grab the seed and try to pull the plant out of it. You feed it the conditions and then you let the thing grow kind of organically. Nature shows us that this is how things work, right? If you look at nature, again, as monks, like they live in nature also for a reason. And that when you look at nature, you understand everything. Because we live in this macrocosm, microcosm, fractaled universe where if you can understand one thing on whatever level you look at, if you can get how this works, you could see how everything works. The universe is in a grain of rice, the Zen Buddhists like to say. Right? So if you just sit and watch a leaf, you sit and watch a tree, you sit and watch how the sun moves, or how a season moves past, or how animals are, you start receiving these incredibly deep realizations about how to live on this planet, in this world. As humans we kind of lost our way when we started believing that God was somewhere else than right here, that the divine was something else than this, right? That there's something and somewhere to be that's just not this, that this is, and when we started kind of focusing on something that's not here, we started polluting, we started destroying the earth, we started treating each other horribly, right? We started focusing on this place called heaven, right? Or this person who's watching us and judging us, and all of these things, these stories, these myths, these created conceptual images that disconnected us from from where we are, from the things that we can see and observe. The fact that if you are somebody who believes in God, God is everywhere. There is nowhere that God is not. So why are we talking to this thing up there in this book? And go look at the sun, go look at a tree. That's God. Look at how things work. Our body is the same as nature. Our body is nature. We are nature. Everything in the universe is the universe. Everything on earth is earth. So if we understand natural principles, we understand human principles, we understand consciousness, we understand social movements and relationships. It is all connected. It is all connected. So that was a whole lot of me talking about a lot of things. Let me know what landed, what didn't land, how that was for you. And boom, divine is everything from Tessa Teal. And so we are going to get into our practice for the eve, Tuesday night practice. As per usual, I invite you to get comfy, get in a position that feels comfortable, whether you're sitting, whether you're laying down, whatever that's going to look like and feel like for you. I'm kind of bummed. Like I always really want to play music for these, but I get slapped with the copyright things on Facebook, and I can't play music. Even my own music. I have an album now, but it's now technically copyrighted, so I can't even. It's crazy. So anyway, we do silence, and that's fine. So Tessa is asking for a thunderclap. Let's start with a thunderclap handshake. So we clap our hands together, and then we rub our hands. We rub until our hands get nice and warm. And then we make a ball of energy. So we rub our hands in this circular motion to create a ball of energy, right? Separating out our hands a little bit, moving our hands in a circular motion, creating a ball of energy, right? This is also when I teach people how to be energy healers. This is kind of one of the steps, right? So almost like feeling as if you're holding a bowling ball and you're rubbing your hands around it, almost polishing it. It's like a weightless bowling ball. It's not heavy, so kind of just rubbing your hands all around it. And as you're doing this, notice if you feel any tension between the hands, any warmth, any tingling, almost like anything like a magnet, like a opposing magnet sort of vibe. Just seeing what you feel or don't feel. Any density in there, right? Taking a few breaths. And we're going to let that ball get bigger. So imagine now that it's the size of a beach ball. So you're holding a beach ball now. It's almost like a beach ball of energy. And again, just letting your hands kind of move around, like as if you're holding the outside of this ball and you're kind of tilting it back and forth. So you're just holding this beach ball of energy, just feeling that, almost like a feeling of lightness in between the hands. And now to do something really trippy, really interesting, this is something that I discovered over quarantine, which is fun, is that we take our hands now and we direct our hands towards the screen. And we imagine that all of us together are holding one big ball. So as you breathe and relax with your palms facing forward, imagine that you are together with all of the people here and all of the people that will be watching this, holding a great ball of energy all together. Time and space do not exist in this dimension that we are tapping into. So just feeling how we are all holding this big ball together, just imagining, make believe, kids do it, just pretend. Sometimes believing is seeing, in this case believing is feeling. And as we're breathing, relaxing, holding this ball of energy, we can actually tilt our palms upwards and allow the energy to fill the room that we are in. So imagine that we're almost in a big ball of energy all together, and it's filling up all of the rooms that we're in also. So palms facing upwards, just feeling like your entire room is filling up with this energy. We're all connected. And connecting to a giant white sun in the sky. Imagine just like this beautiful white sun is above us. And you can even beam some of your energy from your palms to this sun, and the sun beams it back into the space you're in, or onto your body, into the circle of people, as if we're channeling the energy from our hands up to the sun, and the sun is shining this light down on all of us, filling us all with this light, filling all of the space, the spaces that we're in with this light. Remembering to breathe. I'm just going to open up a little bit of a portal here. So just noticing the different quality of sensations that are starting to flood in. This is a group energy healing, so just allowing this energy to flood into your body. Allow yourself to receive, even though we're all holding it together. It's not an active holding, it's just flowing through you. So allowing yourself to be the container, but also be in the container. We are surrounded behind us by our ancestors, our parents, all the way back to the beginnings, whatever that looks like. And above us and around us are our guides, our angels, the consciousnesses with the highest love that are here to help us, support us, that are here for us. And parts of the bandwidth that we just can't see normally. And we are allowing this light to just gently penetrate into the body. Just this white light, almost the same way like when you do red light therapy. You stand in front of that red light and it just kind of glows and heats you and just slowly penetrates into you. Same kind of principle, it's just white light this time. Doing its thing, kind of just marinating you. Cooking you in its peace, in its bliss, and its cleansing. It starts to clear off any blockages, any sicknesses, illnesses, anything that's kind of damaged or injured in the physical body. You can even allow it into your gut to zap around any parasites, any cancer cells you may have, letting it go into any place that's injured or inflamed or in pain. Really just imagining that you're opening up yourself or even a specific area to let this white light in. It's also hitting us emotionally, working through our emotional field, connecting with our chakra system, our energy system, and this includes our auric field, so even allowing it to fill the space around you, almost like an arm's length distance in all sides, in all directions. This is clearing away any attachments, any damage or injury to your auric energy field. Just kind of reclaiming this field of energy around you. everything that is not serving you, not of the highest good, just naturally detaches and returns to its source. Letting yourself just kind of be bathed in this white, healing, safe, protective light, this loving light, this divine light. And just letting it go deeper and deeper into your body, into your energy systems, into your consciousness, reaching you on a cellular level, on a DNA level. Allowing all supportive parts of our DNA to activate that are needed, wanted. Could be of use of help, activating our body's natural healing systems. Sending this light deep into our consciousness. This light can travel through time. It can reach our memories from the past, instantly healing, resolving situations. It can even travel back through time to our past lives and incarnations, bringing light, bringing wholeness, bringing healing to any parts of ourselves. Trauma is a part that has broken off, that has lost its connection to the whole. So just reconnecting those broken off, those disconnected parts back into the whole. Because God is also there, love is also there, light is also there, healing is also there, spirit is also there. We're all made of the same stuff. Everything is made of the same stuff. Even the subtlest bits of our consciousness are made of the same stuff as our fingernails and teeth. So just allowing the truth of unity, the truth of connection, when we dive deep enough or expand far enough, either direction, we eventually come to those places where everything is the same. It's all the same game, the same dance, the same substances. That's why we can even do this now. That's why I can feel your energy, you can feel mine. We're all receiving from the sun. We're surrounded by our ancestors, by our guides and angels and helpers. We have so much love and healing and support, and that is all possible through the truth of connection, the truth of oneness, the truth of unity, the truth of multiple vibrations existing within the spectrum. So allowing this to flow in to you, wherever it needs to go. Allowing it even to go to other people, people that you know need this. And if they're receptive to it, if they want it, if they consent on any level, a soul level, if part of them is open, allowing it to go in, this energy of just the highest love, the support, the healing, the wholeness, just allowing really everybody on this planet who's struggling, who's suffering, or even people that are not, people that are completely filled with joy, letting this all reach them. For there is nothing that this light is not, and there's nowhere it can't go, and there are no limitations. The entire planet, the earth, even the space surrounding the earth, allowing the entire earth, the animals, the plants, the minerals, the whole vibrational energetic field of the earth to be surrounded by this light. The power of our mind, our creativity, our intentions, are infinite, are limitless. We, just few people sitting here on this giant planet, is still enough to completely surround this earth in light, especially when we call upon all of our guides, angels, ancestors, all of these beings. There's actually thousands of beings with us that are all supporting this. This is a vibration we are tuning into together, a vibration of oneness, a vibration of healing. of recognition for this vibration is always here, it is always accessible, it is the same spectrum of energy as material. So just allowing this to go everywhere and anywhere it's needed. This whole planet just dissolving into beautiful white light. And relaxing your body, relaxing your hands. If you need to lay down, you can. Just anything to just completely let go and just take a moment to just be, to breathe, to receive, to allow the merging of all things into the wholeness, all parts of you, even the part of you that looks behind your eyes, the part of you that's thinking your thoughts, the part of you that's hearing the sounds, the part of you that feels the sensations, even that part. And this light stretches out, reaches out, goes through space, to the space beyond space. There are no limits to what we can do. We are infinite. When we tune the radios of our hearts, of our third eyes, of our intentions to this band of energy, we connect to it everywhere. The divine white light of oneness. Breathing it in deeply. Allowing your very brain and heart to just soak in it, to rest. Allowing this to be in everything. Allowing it to be everywhere. Allowing it to happen all at once. And as we breathe, we just really let this energy shoot out in all directions. Whenever you're done, just resting, completely letting this experience carry you like you're floating in water. And start taking some deep breaths. We can begin stretching out our hands and our feet. And just allowing yourself to come back in your own time. Now we got blasted pretty hard just there, so just giving yourself all the time you need to stay in it, to come out of it, whatever. Up to you. I want to thank you all for journeying with me on another Tuesday night live. It's always a pleasure to hold this space with all of you, to share in this magic, to see and experience how connected we are despite distances and time zones and what's not. It was very powerful just now, so take your time, really go slow, it's okay. If you're on the East Coast, feel free just to knock off and go to bed. But yeah, just breathe, stretch, come back down. I'd love to hear from y'all about how that was. Feel free to write it in the texts or to let me know directly. I am really grateful that you're all here. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this call, I'll be doing a 3-day water fast, the first 3 days of February, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And if anybody wants to join me, I invite you to join. There's no cost to it. There's no group. There's no sign up. You just decide you are going to do a 3-day water fast with me, February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Just drink water for 3 days. You could add some lemon if you want. And yeah, otherwise, thank you all so much. I do work one-on-one with people. I help guide people deeper into themselves, into their hearts, into their minds, into their lives. So if anybody is feeling called to have some one-on-one sessions with me, let me know. I am here for it. Otherwise, have a really beautiful rest of your night. Make sure you check me out on Spotify. Seth Monk Handpan is my handpan. Seth Monk Meditation is my talks. And Infinity Monk is my electronic music, which I just started making, which is pretty cool. Hope you all have a really beautiful evening. Thank you so much. Tuesday Night Live.